So that experience sparked many to say, hey, what about the third quarterback rule where you could have a guy in uniform and he would be there for an emergency like the one that transpired? Whatever happened to that? Why don't we bring that back? Here's Shanahan from earlier in the week talking about whether or not he would welcome a return of the third quarterback rule.
Definitely be in favor of it. We were scared to death when that rule ended, whatever many years ago that was. But you kind of forget about it since you just don't see anyone have to go through it. But then you get reminded of how quickly a football game's over once that happens. So I think that would be a very smart thing to have.
Now, look, I've heard people in the past say if you're down to your third quarterback, you're screwed anyway. It doesn't matter if you have a third quarterback. That's one of the reasons that teams only have 2 on the active roster. And, Peter, the rule used to be your 46th guy would be a quarterback who could enter the game in the fourth quarter. If he entered the game before that, the others couldn't return to play. They just decided, let's just go with 46 men, and you can decide who you want to use, whether it's a third quarterback, whether it's a second kicker, whether it's an extra offensive lineman, whatever. So Kyle Shanahan could have had 3 quarterbacks in uniform on Sunday if he wanted to, but most teams have opted to use that 46th spot on someone else. So fine, let's do a 47th guy. And this time, let's not say after 10 years or 15 years of a third quarterback is the 47th man, let's just go ahead and expand the roster to 47 and they can choose however many quarterbacks they want. Then we're right back in the same spot we are now.
Here's the bottom line in this, that right now, today in the NFL, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I've heard all these people say, well, just have the third quarterback as one of your 45. Problem solved. Well, obviously. Here's the issue with that, and it's a very simple issue, okay? If you've played your whole year with 2 quarterbacks dressing, okay? If you played your whole year with 2 quarterbacks dressing, and you've used the last position on the roster every week, like, for instance, when Green Bay hired Rich Bisaccia, Brian Gutekunst was very public in saying, we are going to spend time this year bulking up special teams. We're not going to have the debacle on special teams that we had last year. Every week, they would suit up 4 guys, and they were better. They weren't, who predominantly were going to play special teams, including Keyshawn Nixon, who was great returning kicks at the end of the year. But I only make that point because, okay, there's probably only a 1 in 20 chance that in an average game you're going to need, maybe a 1 in 30 chance that you're going to need that third quarterback. But do you want, and so you're not going to all the time just say, okay, in an emergency, we need the third quarterback, even though we might go 2 years without ever playing the third quarterback. Okay? Brock Purdy played 48 games in college and was really never hurt. He played his first 8 games in the NFL, was never hurt. Well, he got hurt, and then Josh Johnson got concussed. It was a freak thing. But in one of your 3 biggest games of the year, do you want it to be a joke? Do you want it to turn into a full-scale debacle where there is no use in watching the game on television for the last hour because you know that the 49ers don't have anybody who can throw the ball even underhanded? It's just common sense. Get a 46th guy every week who's going to be a third quarterback. Or just say, okay, we'll dress 47, and the only way that the 47th guy, the third quarterback, plays is if you have injuries to the first 2 and they can't come back in the game.
Yeah, it seems like it makes a ton of sense. We'll see if the NFL does that because it just made for a rough afternoon. But you know what? At the end of the day, 45 million still watched that game on average, which really is amazing. For as bad as it got, and it was obvious the 49ers had no chance, it still had a massive audience on average from start to finish in the game. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.